Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, November 3rd, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORIONNWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Monday Night Football, the Arizona Cardinals versus the Dallas Cowboys. Kickoff is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in for some Monday Night Football. Happy Monday, everyone. Coming tight ends in the game, Trey McBride, and on the right, the unquestionable leader for the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott.
Oh my God.
Now, obviously, we know the Cardinals have been struggling. Kyler still has the injury with the foot. 2-5 record, 1-2 on the road. Jacoby Brissett is going to fill in, and we'll see how good he'll do with that offense here today. And the Dallas Cowboys, 3-4-1, 2-0-1 at home after we saw that tie earlier, in the year. Obviously, not ideal to be able to have a tie, next year record. But again, the Cowboy offense has been exciting. They are able to put up points. They're able to run the football and throw it through the air, but the defense has been struggling mightily. So again, this game could be slightly closer than people think. Dallas is favored by 3.5. It could end up being a Cowboy blowout. There's definitely room for that to be true. But hoping that the Cardinals, even though they don't have Kyler Murray, hopefully they play like they have Kyler Murray and they keep it a little bit closer than people would think. But we'll see how it all plays out as they're getting into introductions now. Dark Passenger in the building, TJ in the building, what's good? And then obviously as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll probably be jumping into some NBA. Blazer Vision is something that I would have to sign up for, so that way, even though I have Xfinity to be able to watch the game in other rooms of the house, for me to be able to watch it in other locations, they kind of force you to be able to have this particular subscription service. So I'm more than likely going to end up doing that, so that way we can do Blazer games here. And then not only that, there'll be some games that will be on Prime, ESPN, that I'll end up doing on the NBA side also. So we'll see what I decide to do, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then obviously Thursday, we'll do Thursday Night Football with the Broncos hosting the Raiders. Friday, more than likely, will be USC against Northwestern. Saturday, Oregon versus Iowa. And then Sunday, we'll get into our regular Sunday Night Football, Monday night schedule. So really the days that we're going to be looking at the NBA for the most part, as long as we're in the NFL season and college football season, will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Those will be typically the days that we'll be doing NBA moving forward until we get to March. And then obviously we'll be doing NFL on Thursday, Sunday, Monday, and then college football on Friday and Saturday. So, a little bit of everything, and there might be, a hockey stream that I sprinkle in with the Kraken at some point or another. But if I am going to be investing, in Blazer Vision, which is about $20 a month, not necessarily something that I want to do, but all I have to do is get us, until, about March. So obviously we're in November now. So November, December, January, February. So, 4 months. So that's not too bad. And again, that'll give us some extra content to be able to hang out, on the daily for a few hours just to see how everything is going. And for me to be able to keep busy day in and day out and be on this Northwest Sports Fanatics grind. So definitely excited to be able to see how it all plays out. And again, we got some NBA action obviously here today, and definitely we'll be keeping tabs with the games here, not only this week, but moving forward for the rest of the season. T-Wolves and Nets in the second quarter, 63-59. Bucks up by the Pacers by 4. About a minute 47 left before halftime, 51-47. The Jazz and the Celtics are knotted up at 27 with 8:48 left before halftime. Wizards up 32-27 on the Knicks. Rockets and Mavs just got underway. 7-6 lead for the Rockets. And then the Pistons are up 10-7 on the Grizz. Kings and Nuggets are on later tonight, as well as my Portland Trailblazers hosting the Lakers. But no Luka and LeBron, so that should be a game that you would assume that we would win. And then the Heat and the Clippers are on later tonight. So once we get, towards maybe the third or fourth quarter, I'll end up turning on a little bit of that Blazers-Lakers to see how that goes. And again, that's one of our rivalries, but obviously when you don't have the best players out there, again, it kind of brings that matchup down slightly, but, we'll take any win that we can get. And again, we're off to a very good start this year, so definitely excited to see them go from 4-2 to 5-2 tonight. And then if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, things haven't been very good in, recent memory. And again, Kyler still has the issue with the foot. Jacoby Brissett, is a decent backup quarterback. So we'll see how he ends up doing here today. And again, I expect the Cowboy offense to be electric. Their defense is not. And so that will give some wiggle room for the Cardinals, hopefully with Trey McBride and a few others like Jacoby Brissett to get the job done. And here we go. Cardinals kick off. And a decent return there by Dallas towards the sideline. And we'll see what Dak Prescott has cooking here early. TJ, Dark Passenger, Cody, Marine Bean in the building. What's good? 16 touchdown passes, 5 picks. All top 3 in the NFL for yards, passing touchdowns. So we know Dak is a great leader. But again, it's just about consistency. And we obviously know, with the Dallas Cowboys, usually the offense is good. Defense this year, not so much, but we'll see where this goes. And Javonte Williams with the first carry runs over a player or two, and that is a nice 9-yard gain. Melton and Robinson in there with the coverage for the Cardinals. 2nd down and 1 at the Dallas 43. And Rico Dowdle, obviously a former Cowboy member, is tearing it up for the Panthers, top 5 in rushing. I wonder if the Cowboys were maybe wishing they still had it. Second down and 1. And Javonte Williams up the middle for an 8-yard gain. Wilson and Budda Baker there in coverage. And again, Cowboy offensive line doing a great job here early. First down, Dallas, move the chains. Dak under center. Pass incomplete to Schoonmaker. And again, just like a little bit of a bootleg play, that should have been just kind of a routine check down. And Schoonmaker with the drop. What happened to my hands? You got to be better for Dak, my guy. 2nd down and 10 at the Arizona 49. Patrick in the building. What's good? Sweat Wilson, Davis Gaither up on that line. Melton, Budda Baker, Thompson, and Johnson there in the middle and on the back end. Shotgun set. Prescott, deep pass towards that left sideline. Pickens, and a nice catch there. 16-yard gain. Melton in the coverage for the Cardinals. First down, Cowboys. And obviously you're going to see, a little bit of Javonte Williams. You'll see a little bit of Dak throwing it and running it. And obviously you got George Pickens out there able to make some plays for the Cowboys as well. And I definitely want to be able to see CeeDee Lamb. Last time we did a Cowboys stream when you ended up having that tie with the Packers. There he is. First down, Cowboys. On cue, 15-yard catch from CeeDee Lamb. He's cooking early. First down, Dallas. We them boys. Move them chains. And obviously we know the offense will flow that much better when CeeDee Lamb is a part of it. You got Pickens on one side, CeeDee Lamb on the other, Javonte Williams in the backfield, and Dak, again, even though people like to criticize him. He is a fantastic leader for this team, and the offense hasn't been the problem this year. And Javonte Williams rumbles towards that left side, 11-yard gain, first down, Dallas. Davis Gaither with the coverage, and the Cardinal defense getting pounded here early on the ground and through the air, and it feels like it's just a matter of moments before Dallas gets in, either through CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens through the air, or possibly Javonte Williams on the ground. First and goal, and handoff to Javonte Williams, loss of 2. Nolan with the great coverage there for the Cardinals. Good defense there for Arizona, finally. First good defensive play they've had all night. And we're still here early in the first quarter on Monday Night Football. 0-0 here early between the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Monday. It's very overcast and rainy here in the Pacific Northwest. Me and the pup got a little soaked earlier today, but nothing that we couldn't handle. Second and goal, Prescott short right to Ferguson. 5-yard gain, third down and goal at the Arizona 4, and just couldn't get enough to get into the end zone. Third down and goal. And obviously if the Cardinals can hold the Cowboys to a field goal, that would be a huge victory on this first drive, because they've been getting beat up through the air and the ground, and it feels like the Cowboys can gain yards pretty much at will until they get to the red zone. And then things are going to get a little bit tighter, obviously less room to maneuver when you're in the red zone. 8 plays, 62 yards. And let's see what they do here. Shotgun set for Prescott, and looking for Ferguson, and he drops it. What happened to my hands? You can't have Schoonmaker and Ferguson, both your tight ends, dropping the football. And a great job by the Cardinal defense, and a couple miscues, self-inflicted wounds by the tight ends on the Cowboys, and good form tackle there by Arizona. And I would assume that they're going to go for the field goal, but it looks like they are not. Fourth and goal. They're going to go for it. This would be a huge stop for Arizona if they can get it here early. And Dak looking. Uh-oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And the first mistake by the Dallas Cowboys here at home, leaving points on the board, getting greedy, having that Chip Kelly mentality, back when he was with Oregon or anywhere in the NFL. Sometimes you just got to take the points and not get so greedy out there. We still feel, the Cowboys more than likely are going to win this game, but every time, that you have self-inflicting wounds and you get a little cocky, out there, you end up getting a big sack lunch there for Arizona. Great job there by Sweat. Loss of 7 and a turnover on downs. No points for the Cowboys. And again, they were running and throwing at will. And I guess, you're going to keep this Arizona team hanging around. They don't have Kyler Murray here today, but Jacoby Brissett still is a decent, backup, a guy that probably could start on, maybe 4 or 5 teams in the NFL, maybe closer to 10, depending on if your starting quarterback had an injury and whatnot. But kind of a weird decision there, by Dallas, because you knew they were going to be able to get points or yards, from the 20 to the 20, but then the drive started to stall. So I'm not really sure why, once they got, towards that red zone, that they just wouldn't take the 3 points. But, again, you start to see that trend in the NFL and college football, where you get these offensive coordinators or head coaches that just get way too cocky about things. And obviously, if you don't get it, you back the team up, obviously right there. And it's a long ways for them to be able to go on that long drive. But still, you left 3 points, potentially off the board by being greedy. And we'll see if the Cardinals will make them pay. First, they got to get a few first downs to see if they can move the chains. That is a good question. Yeah, I'll be tapping into the Blazers and Lakers. No Luka, no LeBron, but I don't care. And I'm gonna subscribe to Blazer Vision in like 2 days, so that'll give me access to watch everything through the studio in here. So we'll end up doing a little bit of Blazers, a little bit of good matchups, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, whether that be on Prime or ESPN, any of their outlets. But I primarily focus on the Blazers because that's my favorite team. But if there is a good matchup, we'll definitely be tapping into some of those as well. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Jacoby Brissett, play action fake, pressure, and just has to throw it into the turf immediately before he takes a sack lunch. And again, Dallas's defense is bad this year. The offense is fantastic. They got one of the best offenses, in the league, but defensively, they're not good. But again, with Arizona not having Kyler Murray, how is this going to kind of play out? And again, incomplete pass on that first drive, not ideal. Demercado there with the run, 2-yard gain. Jadeveon Clowney there with the tackle. 3rd down and 8 for Arizona. And they're definitely going to have to pray that their offensive line can hold the D-line for the Cowboys, and give Jacoby Brissett just a little bit of time to be able to go through his progressions and hopefully be able to move the chains, at least slightly here today. And Jacoby Brissett, short right pass to Marvin Harrison Jr. There you go, 18 yards. Nice little extra 5-6 yards on that yak there. Bland with the tackle. 1st down, Cardinals. There we go, baby. Great pass by Brissett. And we've seen Jacoby Brissett, start, in years past. And again, for a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., all the talent, just like his dad, Marvin Harrison Sr., but just really hasn't been able to have steady quarterback play, since he's been there. And let's see if he'll end up being a factor here today. 1st down on his first attempt. 18 yards. 1st down, Cardinals. Move the chains. Brissett, pass incomplete to Trey McBride. And, we know Trey is one of the best up-and-coming tight ends. Speaking of tight ends, hopefully Tucker Kraft will be able to heal up. He's out for the year. And it's a damn shame, when you end up seeing an up-and-coming player having a great year, have an injury like that. Just overshadowed that defender there. And James in coverage. And hopefully McBride will be able to get a few more opportunities here. 2nd down and 10 at the Arizona 31. Brissett, under center, pass incomplete, going deep right to Wilson and just out of range. 3rd down and 10 at the Arizona 31. And that was a good opportunity to kind of work himself out of the pocket with pressure kind of looming nearby. But, you got to be able to kind of stay in the pocket and, be able to look at, each of your options through your progressions. And again, the Cowboy defense hasn't been good this year. But again, the Arizona Cardinal offensive line, may end up getting roughed up at some point or another, but there should be some opportunities, on their secondary for some big plays to open up, you would assume. Eberflus back there as the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, former Bear coach. 3rd down and 10. Shotgun set for Jacoby Brissett. Cowboys bring blitz, and he's wide open. 1st down, Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr. there, 15 yards. And we got a flag on the play. Maybe offsides. Yep. Offsides on the defense. Penalty is declined. 1st down, Arizona. And again, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have to definitely be a factor, if they're going to try to keep it somewhat close here against Dallas tonight. Good route right there by Marvin Harrison Jr. Great hands coming back to the football. And again, he's got great genes. Obviously, his dad, Marvin Harrison. the superstar stud from the Colts from back in the day with Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne. Play action, little bootleg. And pass incomplete and drop there by Marvin Harrison Jr. on the play action. I figured he was going to bootleg to his right, but did not. And throws a laser, incomplete, bland in coverage. 2nd down and 10. Kyler Murray and others looking on. Diggs with the gold stunner shades out there as well. 8:21 left here in the first quarter. 0-0 here early between the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Cowboys decided to go for it on 4th down on the goal line. Got sacked by the Cardinals there. Little check down by Jacoby Brissett. And a 4-yard pass to Wilson. James and Bland in coverage. 3rd down and 6 at the 50. What's good, brother? Dallas favored by 3.5, but depending on how good Jacoby Brissett, the defense, and Marvin Harrison Jr. do, as well as Trey McBride, they might be able to keep it a little bit closer than expected. Dallas's defense isn't good, but when you don't have a very good offense and you got a backup quarterback in there, it'll probably make Dallas's D look somewhat better than they really are. But the offense for Dallas is fantastic, and the points will come at some point. Brissett on 3rd down and 6, floater down the field. Oh! Trey McBride, Supermaning all the way out there. And he drops it, but we got a flag on the play. Looks like it might be a hold on the Cowboys. Holding. 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down. Bell on McBride right there. Oh, yeah, he's all over him. And I definitely like Trey's skill set. They haven't had a tight end like that in Arizona in a long, long time. And even with that hold, normally Trey would come up with that football most of the time. 1st down and 10. 2-yard run there by Knight over the right tackle. Clowney and Houston in coverage. 2nd down and 8 at the Dallas 43. .720 and counting here in the first quarter. Cardinals 0, Cowboys 0 here on Monday Night Football in a game that most would assume the Cowboys would blow out Arizona. But, let's see how good Jacoby Brissett can do here in his 3rd game starting. And, again, they're going to need big plays by Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. And if they get those with just a little bit of defense, this could be slightly closer than people think. But we'll see. 2nd down and 8. And handoff. Knight again, and just not getting enough push on that offensive line. 3-yard gain. Jadeveon Clowney, the old school vet there in coverage. 3rd down and 5 at the Dallas 40. And at this point, you would assume it's going to go to Trey McBride or Marvin Harrison Jr. 3rd down and 5, 3rd down and 6. 10 plays, 49 yards. And let's see if they can keep moving the chains here on this poor Dallas Cowboy defense this year. But when you got a backup QB, sometimes, he'll look good, and other times he'll look very shaky out there. Shotgun set, Brissett steps up in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield. Nice job. Wilson getting the catch and taking some contact and leaning forward. 7-yard gain. 1st down, Cardinals. Move the chains. Bland and Houston in coverage. 1st down and 10 at the Dallas 34. Lenny D in the building. What's good? WWE kind of pissed me off, with the whole merger, with TKO and, and then if we want to be able to watch the PLEs, you got to pay like $30 a month to have a bundle with the ESPN and the Disney Plus and the Hulu. I already have, those other things. So until they bring their price down, And fumble on the ground. Brissett falls on it. But, again, I haven't really been paying attention to Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or the PLEs as much as that, merger ended up happening. Now, if they have an affordable package that's like $10 a month, I'll go back to, doing WWE PLEs on the channel. But if they're going to continue to have the outrageous price of like 30, it's going to be a long time before I get back into wrestling if it's going to be like that. So, and that's sad because I love wrestling, but, $30 a month is ridiculous. They're going to lose a lot of fans that way, including myself, which is sad since I have been watching since like the mid 80s. 2nd and 12, 7-yard pass, little check down. And Elijah Higgins is there with the 7-yard gain. James and Bland in coverage, 3rd down and 5 at the Dallas 29. But I hope that you're doing well, Lenny D. Hope everything is going good in your life. Third down and 5. Brissett passing complete to Marvin Harrison Jr. And now it's 4th down and 5 at the Dallas 29 and take the field goal. You don't need to be going for it like the Cowboys did, even though they were much closer into the red zone. Take the points if they're there, as long as your kicker is capable. I did hear about that. Rest in peace. That's so sad. Who is coaching you guys up now since Sir Mo passed away? Is there another individual that has stepped up for you guys there? And field goal is up and good. And Chad Ryland gets the job done. And they're not going to be like Dallas and leave points on the board or just, going for it when it doesn't need to be. Nice job by Arizona. The score could be 3-3, and it's crazy when you watch field goals on TV and whatnot. Like that field goal looked like it missed. When you're watching it, looked like it's good. And then it kind of went like wide right. But again, if it goes, over the crossbar first before it starts going wide right, but looks like, it barely got in after they show the replay there. And it is 3-0 Arizona. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's good. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, there's no way that's good. But then they show the camera from down below looking up. And, sometimes, it starts fading wide right or wide left right after it ends up going through the crossbar. And that's what we saw. (3-0) Arizona. Good drive for them. .338 left in the first quarter. 3-0 Cardinals. Nice. Sucks that, the coach, Sir Mo, passed away, but hopefully Smiley and everyone else will be able to fill in the role the best that they can. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Cardinals, Cowboys, Monday Night Football. The Dodgers, got the highest payroll. And like when I was calling that game, I told everyone on stream, if the game goes into extras, the Dodgers are going to win 100%. And that's exactly what happened. If you let a team hang around like the Dodgers, eventually they're going to get that big home run or big RBI, at some point. And even though the pitching, the offense, the defense, everything, was really favoring, the Blue Jays. Really the only thing the Blue Jays didn't have, right, was Yamamoto. And Yamamoto single-handedly won them 3 games. And obviously late inning heroics by Miguel Rojas with the game-tying home run in the 9th. And then Will Smith in extras. But, they go back-to-back. And, the Blue Jays now feel what the Mariners felt on even a deeper level. We lost in ALCS Game 7. They lost World Series Game 7 in extras. So, obviously both of our teams had great years, Mariners and Blue Jays, but it just wasn't enough to be able to be champ this year. But obviously going into next year, I know both teams will be very, very hungry. And then Dodgers obviously will try to three-peat with their parade and everything that they did earlier today. And Ryland kicks off. And a decent return there from Turpin, 20 yards. And it's first down and 10 here at the Dallas 23. Yeah, 68 yards from the Jags kicker. Heard of it, but I wasn't too familiar with it, Lenny D. Mabel and Mo. I mean, I can't really remember anything offhand, from back in the day, but I remember, I remember seeing them, back in the day. Man on a mission. Mabel and Mo. From 93 to 96. And Prescott pass incomplete to Turpin on second down and 7. Third down and 7 now at the Dallas 26. And Prescott's got all the time in the world, but again, a lot of the wide receivers and tight ends are not doing Dak any favors. Quite a few drops already. (3-0) Arizona, and I'm glad that they're fighting here early. If the Dallas Cowboys are going to be kind of cocky and not take 3 when they should, it could come back to bite them. I mean, they might end up losing the game by 3, even though most people think the Cowboys are going to blow them out, but we'll see. Dak, nice catch. First down, Cowboys, CD Lamb, but that looks like holding. That's coming back. Gotta be holding, right? It's got to be on the offensive line, you would assume. Yep. Bring that back. Unfortunate. And you take those stats out of CD Lamb's stat line, but you would assume that he'll get another opportunity or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 today. They're ferocious, bro. And even when I do baseball, anything I do, they're just rampant out there. Where it's like I got to work, I got to call the game, I got to watch the game, I got to focus on the chat, and then I got to give the Hollywood Hogan boot to all the bots as soon as possible. Third down and 17 at the Dallas 16, and self-inflicted wounds and some drop passes are keeping the Cardinals in this game. Dak going long, going deep, and intercepted. Oh, he dropped it. Oh my God, how did he drop that? What happened to my hands? You're getting the tight ends and the wide receivers for the Cowboys to drop passes. And obviously there's a reason why certain guys play defense and not offense. And that should have been an easy interception on Dak Prescott as they get pressure on him as he throws by Sweat. And wow. And Wilson should have had that, but fourth down and 17. And Dallas with the punt, but you got a false start on the line there, and that'll bring them back another 5. Fourth down and 22 on the Dallas 11. Yeah, easiest interception of that guy's career. Fumbled that, but that opportunity away, but maybe he'll get another chance. And that block punt almost happened there. And Dortch with a short return, but now the Cardinals are in great position. If they can just get a few first downs, they'll be in a perfect field goal range. If they can get like 4 or 5, they're going to end up in the end zone. And again, if the Cardinals can go up 10-0, that'll definitely help their cause to upset the Cowboys, obviously, here on the road. And we got the Lakers and Blazers on in about an hour and 15 minutes, so I'll be tapping into that. Hopefully Rip City will be able to get the victory. No Luka, no LeBron, but we don't care. We just want the dubs. 2:02 left in the first quarter, 3-0 Cardinals. Chad Ryland with a 48-yard field goal after Dallas marched the field easily on their first drive with some great throws by Dak and great runs up the middle. But again, by Javonte Williams. But when it came down to the red zone, the drive started to stall. A couple drop passes. They ended up going for it when they were in the red zone on 4th down. Should have taken the points, especially with a guy like Aubrey. And, they ended up turning over the ball, and now we got an Arizona 3-0 lead. You too, man. Miss you, man. Good luck with everything that you're doing with the wrestling, and love you and appreciate you. And hopefully we'll be able to talk soon, when you got some free time. Appreciate you, my guy. Dortch with that 4-yard return, first down and 10 at the Dallas 47. 2:02 left here in the first, 3-0 Arizona. Daniel in the building, what's good? First down and 10, and DeMarcado towards that left end, breaks a tackle, 6-yard gain. Elam with the tackle by the Cowboys. Second down and 4 at the Dallas 41. And Brissett sacked. Wow, loss of 10. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Big sack lunch there for the Cowboys. And that offensive line for the Cardinals breaks down. Loss of 10. Third down and 14 now on the Arizona 49. And he tried to run a little play action, but offensive line just got fucking destroyed right there. Great job by the Cowboys defensive front with their front seven. We're at 23, 27 more likes to 50, 73 to hit the goal. Let's go, baby. Third down and 14. Brissett, deep middle, and caught. Marvin Harrison Jr. Move the chains. First down, Cardinals. And that will be the end of the first quarter. Great job there by Arizona and Jacoby Brissett, getting a little bit of, chemistry, with obviously this being his third game filling in for Kyler Murray. And a great job by Marvin Harrison Jr. getting that job done. 3-0 Cardinals. And obviously time of possession is going to be big. So again, the Cowboys could have had a 3-3 tie, and Arizona, if they can kind of just chip away and, little dinks and doinks with some screen passes here and there, some passes over the middle, obviously, if they're going to be playing zone, and then getting a little bit of running game out of DeMarcado and company. And if you can keep the ball away from that Dallas offense as much as you can, obviously that's going to give you a better chance of potentially getting this upset on Dallas on the road. It's going to be a tough game. Iowa, they may not be highly ranked and whatnot, but again, the Big Ten obviously has a shitload of teams, and anytime you end up going on the road and you play teams, like, maybe not this year with Wisconsin, but, in years past, like in Iowa or Wisconsin or, teams like that, you never know, how things are going to play out, and, things might end up a little slower than anticipated. And fuck these bots, dude. Fuck out of here. It's ridiculous. Shouldn't have 50 to a fucking 100 bots on every fucking stream. 3-0 Arizona. First down and 10 at the Dallas 31. And if you're just tuning in, Chad Ryland with a 48-yard field goal after Dallas ended up going for it on the red zone towards the goal line on 4th down. Should have taken the 3 with Aubrey, but decided to go for it and failed. And we'll see where this goes. $23 likes, 27 to 50, 73 more to get to a hundo. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train. 3-0 Cardinals. And let's see if they can continue to move the football here efficiently. Handoff to DeMarcado. Run up the middle. Breaks a tackle. And if he doesn't get that shoestring tackle, DeMarcado is in the end zone. Great run there. 16 yards to the Dallas 15. Thomas with the coverage, and a great job by the Cardinal offensive line. It looks like it was a hold, though, after watching the replay. And can't believe they didn't call that. That was very clear as a hold on that offensive line. I mean, the Cardinals normally aren't going to hit you with those kind of gash plays, but Brissett, short right to Marvin Harrison Jr. for 7 yards to the Dallas 8. Bell with the coverage. And now it's 2nd down and 3 here and early in the second quarter. The bots are furious today. So much extra work I have to do. 2nd down and 3, DeMarcado up the middle, but stuffed there by Clowney. 3rd down and 1 at the Dallas 6. And we'll see if they decide to pound the rock again or go with McBride, Wilson, or Harrison. And Knight over that left end for 2 yards. First down, Cardinals, and looks like they are potentially going to go up 10-0 here on the Cowboys. And again, you just never know what you're going to get on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. Obviously on paper, it looks like this would be an easy one to predict, but again, if Arizona gives it their all and Dallas comes into this game a little cocky and a little overconfident, and Arizona ends up making a few plays on offense and defense, I mean, it is possible. Yeah, Arizona could end up stealing this game and winning by 3. It definitely could happen. I mean, based on how they're playing right now, they might be able to win by even more than that. And a 4-yard touchdown pass by Brissett to Marvin Harrison Jr., baby. And that is good. Big plays there for Jacoby Brissett. And even though he's a backup quarterback since Kyler Murray is still on the shelf with the foot, Brissett is still one of the better backups in the league. Top 5 backup in the league right now. And look at that route. Blown coverage by Dallas. Marvin Harrison Jr. with the little mini slant. And there's nothing that Dallas could do. And again, Dallas's defense isn't good. They're horrible. Their offense is amazing. Their offense is top 5, top 10, but their defense is definitely bottom 10. And Marvin Harrison Jr. finally getting an opportunity to show why they drafted him, a few years ago. Great route. Ends up making the defender fall on his little juke. And great hands by Marvin Harrison Jr. And again, the Cowboys, come on, man. You can't be falling down based on a little juke from Marvin Harrison Jr. Extra point is up and good. 10-0 Cardinals. And again, this was kind of what I thought was going to happen, at least early. Now, we'll see, how good, they do in the second half. But I just had a weird feeling that the Cardinals were going to show up today. And so far, so good. That's a good comparison. The Bengals defense is trash like the Cowboys, but, even if Burrow is in or Burrow is out, at times, they will be able to put up some points, just like we saw with the Bengals and the Bears, both putting up a 40 spot this weekend. I mean, that game could have ended up being 13-10, and we wouldn't have batted an eye. But again, sometimes, when defenses are extremely bad, and for whatever reason, the offenses get extremely hot, then you can get a shootout. But, I don't think anyone really anticipated the Bengals and the Bears to have probably the most entertaining game over the weekend. But here we are. 10-0 Cardinals here early, 12-17 left in the second quarter. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. So again, we'll see what we decide to do for Tuesday and Wednesday. I know the Thunder are playing tomorrow, but it's pretty late. It's like Thunder and Clippers is on at like 8 p.m. So I'm not really sure. And, ideally that would be the stream that I would do if I was going to do one tomorrow for the NBA. And then obviously on Wednesday, Blazers are playing, I believe, on that day, so I can go that route. Thursday, we got the Broncos and the Raiders. Friday, USC and Northwestern for college football. Saturday, Oregon versus Iowa. And then obviously as we get back into Sunday and Monday, we'll get back into the, regular schedule of things, which would be, I believe is it the Chargers and the Steelers on Sunday Night Football? I'm going to take a peek here. Yeah, so it'll be Steelers at the Chargers, and then we got a good one on Monday night, Eagles visiting Green Bay. But obviously after Tucker Kraft ended up having a season-ending injury, ACL tear, obviously that's going to, kind of kill the vibe a little bit for Green Bay. They kind of have been up and down this year, but, if you end up losing your best offensive piece, going to be hard to recover from that. So, and Turpin, and a decent return there from Turpin, 24 yards, and it's now first down and 10 at the Dallas 26. And Javonte Williams on first down and 10, a 3-yard gain over that left tackle. Buda Baker and Wilson in there with the tackle. 2nd down and 7 at the Dallas 29. Lauren in the building. What's good? Second down and 8, and Prescott with a short pass to the right side to George Pickens. 11-yard gain down to the Dallas 40. Melton and Williams in coverage, and a good connection there from Dak to George Pickens. Good hands by George, and obviously George Pickens is, kind of like DK Metcalf. You had a lot of talent and a lot of athleticism, but both play with a lot of anger. And sometimes that anger and selfishness rubs off in the wrong way. And we'll see if Pickens can get enough opportunities where he doesn't have a meltdown on the sideline if he doesn't get the ball. And we've seen DK with that and Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers, as well as his previous team on the Seahawks. Got to be able to keep a level head. Easier said than done for some of these players. 1st down and 10. Javonte Williams runs towards that right side. 3-yard gain as he is doubled up there. Wilson and company with the tackle. 2nd down and 7 at the Dallas 43. And they're definitely, tightening up, so to speak, the defense for Arizona compared to the first drive where Dallas was pretty much doing anything they wanted through the air or on the ground with Javonte Williams, or through the air with CD and Pickens. And then they had some drops by Schoonmaker and company with their tight end group. And a little check down. CD Lamb is there, dancing and romancing. And finally, should have been a gain of, maybe 1 or 2, turns into a gain of 5 after that dancing and romancing by CD Lamb. 3rd down and 2 on the Dallas 48. And off to Javonte Williams, and 5-yard gain. 1st down, Cowboys. Move the chains. 1st down and 10 at the Arizona 47. Good blocking up front there by the O-line. They have enough room for that 1st down. And obviously, if you're the Cowboys, you desperately want to get on the board with a minimum of a field goal, but you're definitely thinking touchdown. Got about 9 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Arizona dominating here early on. And Prescott scrambles, gambles, and ends up going with a play action and says, you know what, I'm just going to take off and run, and slides in safe. 2nd down and 1 at the Arizona 38. I mean, obviously, if he went head first, could have got that 1st down, but 2nd down and 1. Prescott, pass incomplete, deep right to CD Lamb, incomplete. 3rd down and 1 at the Arizona 38. I mean, if you only need 1 yard, why don't you pound the rock and get that 1st down before you go for that deep shot to CD? Just out of reach for CD Lamb. Good coverage there by Max Melton. 8:24 and counting. 10-0 Cardinals. 3rd down and 1. And here we go. Javonte Williams towards that right guard. 3 yards. 1st down, Cowboys. Move the chains. 1st down and 10 here at the Arizona 35. Dallas gaining a little bit of momentum on this drive. 30.8 points per game. That's 2nd in the NFL, but points per game allowed, 31.3. So for every point that they put up, they just give it right back. And 2nd best on offense, 2nd worst on defense. So as far as points per game. And little toss here to Turpin. And that's a 3-yard gain towards that right side. Good wrap-up tackle there by Thompson. 2nd down and 7 at the Arizona 32. Second down and 7 with 7:15 and counting. Prescott. And Pickens is open, but we got a flag, and that looks like offensive holding. That's coming back. And that's going to be 2nd down and 17 now at the Arizona 42 after that holding by the O-line. And again, Dallas, too many self-inflicted wounds. Holds on the line, drop passes by their tight ends, Schoonmaker and Ferguson. And again, you're getting some good production, from time to time out of Javonte Williams on the ground. And again, CD and Pickens, are going to be able to do their job. But Arizona is playing with some confidence, and I like what I'm seeing here early. Especially in a game where most people thought the Cowboys would win this game by like 20 or 30. Not so fast. 2nd down and 17. Shotgun set. Dak. Deep right pass to Pickens after he avoids the sack lunch. And incomplete. Over his head. Sweat in coverage. 3rd down and 17 at the Arizona 42. Good defense there by the Cardinals. They're flying around out there. And again, that's what you need to do. You got to have at least 1 or 2 guys that can get pressure up front on that offensive line for Dallas, to make it a little bit more uncomfortable for Dak. And then obviously you got to have some plays through the linebacking core in the secondary to poke balls away or to eventually, hopefully end up getting an interception on Dak at some point in this game. Big play here for Dallas. 3rd down and 17 at the Arizona 42. Shotgun set for Dak. Plenty of time. Little check down. And Ferguson, fumble! Fumble, grab it! Yes! And the Cardinals recover after the big fumble. Let's go. Huge, baby. Big fumble recovery there. Everything going right for Arizona. Everything going wrong for the Dallas Cowboys. Wilson making the play and recovered by Budda Baker, and we know how good Budda is. And there you go. That's the reason why you're losing. You got Stephen A. sitting next to Jerry Jones. Terrible owner and a terrible sports personality. I mean, they were jinxed from the start. $10-0 Cardinals, and let's see if the Cardinals can put up a field goal or a touchdown. And again, if they go up 13-0 or 17-0, it's definitely going to, bring that, decision to not kick the field goal and not take the points. That's going to come back to bite them. And again, normally that does. You don't think about it, later in the game, maybe as much until it gets to a point where you may lose. But early on, we'll have plenty of opportunities. But at this point, the Cardinals are able to kind of, work the clock, have these long drives, keep the football out of the offense, out of Dak's hands. And then when you do have it in Dak's hands, you have self-inflicting wounds with holds, fumbles, and drop passes. And again, kind of had a feeling that this one would be a lot closer and a little bit better than people would originally think, at least for the Cardinals side. And so far, so good. 10-0 Arizona. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. 76 subs to go to 23,300. We gained 2 subs since the last commercial break. Shout out to all the new subs that we've acquired today as well as in 2025. Big fumble recovery there. Let's see if they can take advantage of this big turnover by the Cowboys. Mac Wilson with the punch out and Budda Baker with the recovery. Stephen A. and Jerry Jones, what a terrible combo. Yeah, Blazers are going to win. You know, no Reeves, no Luka. LeBron is still injured. Should be a game that we're, and honestly, if those guys were playing, I still like our chances. Blazers are playing good ball this year. And on 1st down and 10, a handoff to DeMarcado to the right side. And that's a 1-yard gain with Clark and company in coverage. 2nd down and 9 on the Arizona 25. Yeah, and there's a good chance that CD might be able to get one, you know, in the second half. But again, they haven't played very good here early on. Drops by the tight ends, Schoonmaker and Ferguson, you know, holds on the offensive line. And again, you know, if you're going to get the ball punched out and you're not going to take the 3 when you could have early on, you know, everything is just backfiring on them. And here we go. Trey McBride, baby. Couple spin moves. 1st down, Cardinals. Move the chains. There we go. Love me some Marvin Harrison Jr. and love me some Trey McBride. We know this Cardinal team is bad, but at least they're playing like they have a similar record to the Cowboys or better. And it's not like they have that many more wins. Cowboys 3-4-1. Cardinals are 2-5, and they haven't had Kyler for 3 games. So, but Brissett is definitely holding his own here today against this bad Cowboy defense. But at least there's some playmakers on both sides that you can get excited about. Pickens and CeeDee Lamb on one side, McBride and Harrison Jr. on the other. Little bootleg play action, and just kind of a wild throw to Trey McBride, incomplete. House was a little short there. 2nd down and 10 at the Arizona 35. But Budda Baker has always been a ball hawk, even back in his days with the Huskies. Wow, first takeaway since 2022. Holy moly, Budda. Yeah. Handoff. Nope. Oh, caught from behind. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Well, you know, I'm a defensive-oriented fan, not offense, you know, and again, in the mid-90s, you know, if the Legion of Boom existed back then maybe, you know, I would have been. But again, I have to be able to connect with players and a team, and I connect more with Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, Mike Allstott, and unfortunately, the Hawks didn't have any kind of guys like that, you know, and you know, again, I got the Kraken, I got the Mariners, you know, for being in Washington, you know, I got the Ducks and the Blazers in Oregon, and this will be the only Northwest team that I root for, but, you know, it just didn't come into play back then, you know, in the mid-90s. 3rd down and 16, flag throw by the ref there towards the offensive line as McBride stretches out, and that should potentially be an offensive hold, and that will be declined. Yeah, Seahawks look good. Hey, my Buccaneers look good too. I mean, I've had a lot of injuries, and you know, Baker Mayfield is a stud. You know, and you know, it just sucks that we haven't been able to use Bucky or Mike Evans or Chris Godwin and having injuries on the O-line and the secondary. But who knows? Maybe we'll see the Bucs and the Seahawks match up in the playoffs. Could happen. Now, if I was more of an offensive-minded fan, you know, maybe I would have ended up being, you know, a fan of like the Hawks or the Niners. I mean, I did love watching Joe Montana and Jerry Rice growing up, but I didn't want to be a bandwagon fan. And wow, big block punt, recovered, touchdown, Cowboys. You got to be kidding me. Wow. And you got 3 Cowboys there, and unbelievable, a blocked punt for the Cowboys. And that is recovered by Nealon. Touchdown, Dallas. And just when they needed something like that as a miracle, right, they end up getting it. Unbelievable. Dak can't get a touchdown, but the special teams can. Man, this game keeps getting better and better, you know, for a game of the Battle of the Bads. You know, you definitely are getting a lot of excitement, you know, here on Monday night. Yeah, and plus, I have been a Buck fan since '95, so I mean, it's been 30 years for me. So, incredible play with that block punt and great awareness by 3 Cowboys, getting there where the Cardinals had no chance, to kick it out of bounds or to even jump on it. Huge play. Extra point is up and good. And imagine if the Cowboys would have taken the 3 on the first drive. Guess what? The score's tied up 10-10. But again, lots of time to go, before this one is over. But if the Cowboys end up losing by 3, you're going to remember that first drive and on that decision to go for it on 4th down on the goal line instead of taking the points, which you need to do, every single time in the first 3 quarters. If you go into the 4th quarter and you want to take a gamble, fine, but again, first 3 quarters, you got to take all the opportunities that are there. Wow, what excitement. I was not expecting a block punt for a touchdown. That is not something that you see very often. Yeah, I mean, it was wild. I mean, I'm always going to be, leaning more towards the first, back in that era, with Tony Dungy and John Gruden. That will always be my favorite team. And, just the simple fact that they got Bruce Arians as head coach, and then we were able to get Brady, Gronk, and fly like a butterfly, sting like AB, Antonio Brown, before he ended up getting CTE and, walking away. But we ended up getting, obviously a Lombardi, and, could have had a chance on another one if Antonio Brown didn't go crazy and just quit on the team and whatnot. We could have really used him, especially with the injury to Godwin that year. But, it is what it is. And, the Buccaneers are one of only 2 teams that to go to 2 Super Bowls and not lose, us and the Baltimore Ravens. So, I'm happy with, the direction of where the team is going, and to be able to fall in the footsteps of Tom Brady and get a guy like Baker, a guy that was great in college at Oklahoma, got drafted by the Browns, which is usually an end of a career, then had to bounce to Carolina, then go to the Rams with a quick tryout for, about 3 or 4 games. And then the Bucs ended up getting him. And, everyone's journey is a little bit different, but it's always nice to be able to see a first pick in the draft or a second pick in the draft that might end up failing initially, with the organization that they're with, but then eventually finding their forever home. And I'm very happy with what I have with Baker Mayfield. One thing I'm not happy about is these goddamn bots. Ridiculous. It's like 30 of them already. 3:58 left in the second quarter. 10-7 Cardinals. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. And Aubrey with a 59-yard kick. Dortch with a 20-yard return after running into a couple players there, 1 Cardinal and 1 Cowboy. Goodwin with the tackle. First down and 10 at the Arizona 26. And let's see if Arizona can get a few first downs and march the field and get a few big plays to potentially get a field goal or a touchdown before halftime. Yeah, Darnold has been playing very, very well. They got a lot of good players, surrounding him. And, again, I wish the Seahawks the best of luck. It was fun calling that game yesterday. And, yeah, I mean, you never know. Could end up being like we had earlier this year when the Bucs and the Hawks went at it. A very even matchup for sure. And Brissett, short right there to Higgins. And some extra yak yards there. And what a juke. First down, Cardinals. 13 yak yards after the 3-yard reception. 16 yards total. First down, Arizona. Move the chains. Brissett under center. And deep right. Harrison is there and caught. 16 yards. Bland and Bell in coverage. First down, Cardinals. Keep giving it to Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. Baby, let's go. I'm very happy on what I've been able to see out of Jacoby Brissett as a backup quarterback, making some pretty good throws, and you're getting some pretty good catches, by the tight ends and the receivers as well. Adrian in the building. What's good? Yeah, had a perfect rating, for Darnold in the first half. Obviously had that bad pick in the second, but overall, a fantastic game. And Brissett under center, little play action, and check down. And Higgins is there and gets popped, keeps going forward, popped again, and that is a 7-yard gain. And we're at the 2-minute warning. Dude, these bots are ridiculous. How many bots am I going to have to deal with? Like a fucking 100? Fuck out of here. Second down and 3 at the Dallas 35. 2-minute warning, Cardinals 10, Cowboys 7. And a good one here. Obviously not as high scoring as some people thought, but, we'll take that. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And just a quick recap in the game, if you are just tuning in, Cowboys were marching the field pretty easily and got into the red zone and decided not to take the 3, got greedy, went for it on 4th down, did not convert. And then the Arizona Cardinals and Chad Ryland ended up getting a 48-yard field goal on their drive. They go up 3-0. Marvin Harrison Jr. on a 4-yard pass by Jacoby Brissett. 10-0 Cardinals. And then after a blocked punt, you ended up recovering that into the end zone by Marshawn Nealon. Aubrey's kick is up and good. And pretty crazy that the special teams is the reason why the Cowboys are on the board other than Dak Prescott in the offense. But again, that's why the NFL is so exciting week in and week out. You just never know how the teams are going to score and how the games are going to play out. It's the most even league out of all 4, NHL, NBA, MLB, and the NFL. Even bad teams can end up beating teams in the middle and even teams at the top from time to time, especially if it ends up being a divisional rivalry matchup within the own division itself. Can't wait to see what he ends up cooking up for beats for himself and for the channel here moving forward. It's been a few days since he's made one, so I imagine a new one will be coming out here shortly. Second down and 3, shotgun set, Knight up the middle for no gain, Fowler with the tackle. Third down and 3, and timeout Cowboys. And the Cardinals will receive the second half kickoff. So we'll see if they can find a way to, get a field goal and potentially end up getting another on a starting drive. But again, they're going to have to try to get this first down first. Now, Vikings had a great win against the Lions, and the Panthers had a great win against the Packers this weekend. And if you're a bot, how about do one message? It doesn't have to be 5 or 10 at once. Nobody's clicking on your booty ass link. It's like if the game is on ESPN, why would someone click on a booty ass link? There's other streaming links, that are more trustworthy. No one's going to click on some booty ass link from some random person, a random bot. Jacoby Brissett, short right tonight, pushed out of bounds there at the Dallas 27, 8-yard gain. First down and 10 at the Dallas 27. And that nice fake toss with that check down worked perfectly. Nice job by Knight. All right, baby, keep it moving. Brissett on first down, short right to Knight. 12-yard gain to the Dallas 15. First down, Cardinals. See if we can get another touchdown here by the Cardinals by Trey McBride or Marvin Harrison Jr. again. First down and 10 at the Dallas 15. Can't abandon the run either. Brissett, little check down off the Cowboy blitz. And remember, the Cowboys give up the second most points on defense, and they score the second most. So everything they do on offense, they usually give it right back. First down, Cardinals. Pass incomplete, short middle to Trey McBride. Second down and 10 at the Dallas 15. Trey's not going to get that call there, but he might in the second half. Cowboys defense loves to grab. And Dortch to that right end. 9 yards. Bland and James in coverage. 9-yard gain, almost to that first down marker. Third down and 1 at the Dallas 6, and they are approaching a touchdown here momentarily. Let them know, Marine Bean, I can't do it by myself. Has to be a team effort. I mean, with 125, we definitely should be much higher than where we're at now. Doesn't cost any money to hit the like button. I mean, especially me booting out like these 50 fucking bots in the first half. Third down and 1. And Knight runs to that left end for 5 yards, all the way down to the Dallas 1. And Dallas calls timeout here at first and goal, and now it's almost inevitable. You know, they can go with DeMicardo or any, you know, you could go with a QB sneak with Jacoby Brissett. You know, obviously you don't really need to throw the football and potentially get a tip, you know, where it could end up being a turnover. So I assume that they will pound the rock or do a QB sneak with Brissett, and it'll be 17-7 here in a moment. $15 for 22, 158 yards, 1 TD, and no picks for Brissett, a backup QB. Pretty good. 6 receptions, 80 yards, and a tutty for Marvin Harrison Jr., and, you know, pretty similar stat line that you would have if Kyler was playing. So nice job by Jacoby Brissett filling in and playing good today. It also helps when you go against a shitty defense. First and goal. Knight up the middle for no gain. And Dallas with the timeout. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a great route runner. I mean, his previous touchdown, he made the defender break his ankles and fall down. So I mean, technically, you could run a similar play like that if you spread out the wide receivers wide, and he could come inside off a juke, and but again, a little risky. But I mean, obviously, pounding the rock here up the middle hasn't worked out just yet. But you still got a few more plays. Spurs and Lakers tomorrow, Wemby. But again, if you're not going to have LeBron or Luka, it doesn't have that same kind of feel. And then T-Wolves and Knicks tomorrow. And Brissett up the middle. QB sneak, baby. Touchdown, Cardinals. There you go. When you know football, baby. If you can't get it done with your, running backs, do it with Brissett. He's got some height, and they're on the same page as myself. Touchdown, Arizona. Extra point is up and good. Nice job by Rylan. 17-7, Arizona. Nice job by Jacoby Brissett, the backup, getting the job done with the little QB sneak right up the middle. You don't even need a tush push to score that one, baby. 17-7, bringing that electricity for the Arizona Cardinals. 17-7 with 49 seconds left here for Dallas. And obviously knowing that they're going to probably try to throw the football, this could turn into a turnover potentially for Dallas. We will see. Blazers are about to tip off here in 28 minutes. This is like a perfect example where you never take anybody for granted. I imagine all the Cowboy players, including the coaches, everyone thought this was just going to be an easy game. Kyler's not playing. They got the backup in there. They're 2-5, the Cardinals. They got a few weapons in Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride, but it shouldn't be enough to beat them. That's what they're thinking. And again, it just feels like, that bad decision by leaving the points on the board for going for it on fourth down. If they could have kicked that field goal, it could be 17-10 right now. And that would look a hell of a lot better for them rather than being down 17-7. I mean, the only thing worse than the score itself is seeing Jerry Jones sitting next to Stephen A in the booth. Terrible combo. We got 49 seconds left for the Cowboys to get a field goal or a touchdown to cut into this Arizona Cardinal lead led by Jacoby Brissett. Girl's cute. Little cowboy cutie on the TV. Making some custom hats there. All right, 49 seconds left here in the second. And Rylan kicks off, 63 yards. And Turpin with a good return, 36-yard return from Turpin. And now it's first down and 10 at the Dallas 38 with about 41 seconds left. Turpin's definitely got that speed. maybe running some like jet sweeps or reverses with Turpin could kind of open up the game for them at some point. And Prescott passing complete deep right. 2nd down and 10 to the Dallas 38. Good pressure there by the Cardinals for Dak just to throw it away. 2nd down and 10. Dak, short right to Ferguson. Gets his hands on that one. 8-yard gain. Budda Baker in coverage. 3rd down and 2 at the Dallas 46 with about 20 seconds left here before halftime. So if they can get a couple more chunk plays or one chunk play, they might be able to get a field goal, a long one by Aubrey, who can kick 50, 60 yards. 4-yard pass. I see you, Ferg. And Prescott spikes the ball to stop the clock there. And obviously on that 3rd down and 2, a throw to the sideline, out of bounds. And I said forward progress, you get the spike, and now the ball is down at the 50. I don't know if Aubrey can make, 65 yards? I mean, we had a 68-yarder by the Jags kicker. So it's going to be a 68-yarder. So if Aubrey can kick and make this, it'll tie what we saw there. And field goal is no good. And that is the end of the second quarter. And Aubrey does not have the leg to go 68. And now it is 17-7 Cardinals. And we're at halftime. And halftime won't last very long, only about 11 or 12 minutes. And we'll be right back at it. I mean, even if he would have, had it from 65, he wasn't going to make that either. Arizona gets the ball in the second half, and that's exactly what they want to see. Cowboys need to regroup here. So quick recap, for the start of this game, if you're just tuning in, Chad Ryland with a 48-yard field goal, 3-0 Cardinals after the Cowboys ended up marching down the field and decided to go for it on 4th and goal and got nothing. Cardinals responded with a field goal, 3-0 Arizona. Then Marvin Harrison Jr. with a 4-yard pass by Jacoby Brissett, 10-0 Cardinals. And then they ended up getting a blocked punt. The Cowboys, Marshawn Nealon in the end zone, ended up jumping on it. Extra point by Aubrey was good, 10-7 Arizona. And then obviously Brissett with the QB sneak there on the goal line. And now 17-7, we are at half. And we only have about 10 minutes to go. And we'll be right back at it for second half coverage. Yeah, I mean, even if they were going to be able to jam the receivers on the line, I mean, when they've done that, they've been falling down. Even when they've been trying to cover Trey McBride or Marvin Harrison Jr., they've been getting broken off with their ankles and whatnot. So, the Cowboys, score, the second most points per game, but also they give up the second most points per game. So anything that they do on offense, they give it right back. And the defense is horribly bad for Dallas. The offense is good, but it's just not good today. Yeah, Dallas just doesn't have the personnel on defense to be able to keep up with certain teams. You're going to have a few guys up front that might be able to get some pressures and some sack lunches, but once you start working back, to the linebacking core and especially the secondary, that's where you're going to get torched the most, and they definitely have been picking on those guys on the back end. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks. Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, so let's look at the NBA schedule tomorrow. We got Bucks, Raptors, Magic, Hawks on NBC Peacock. That could be an option. And then you have the Thunder and the Clippers on NBC Peacock. So if I were to do an NBA game tomorrow, I guess it would be Thunder and Clippers, but it's on at 8 o'clock. That's really late. And then on Wednesday, we're going to do Blazers versus Thunder, and that'll be on at 7. And then Thursday will be Thursday Night Football. And then once we get into next week, we'll go from there. So, obviously I wish that Thunder Clipper game wasn't on so late. That means it would, we'd be starting at 8 p.m. and then it would be over at like roughly 10:30 and whatnot. So I might, I'll have to think about it, at that point during the day, if I feel that it's going to be worth doing that for, likes and subs and views and donos, if we would get any kind of support with that or not. So, but probably we'll take the day off tomorrow. And then, with the Blazer Vision subscription, we'll end up doing Blazers versus Thunder on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Broncos and Raiders on Thursday Night Football. Friday will be USC and Northwestern for college football. Oregon versus Iowa on Saturday for college football. And then Sunday will be Steelers and Chargers on Sunday night. And then Monday will be the Eagles and the Packers. And then once we get back and do, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, then we'll be approaching some NBA at that point as well. Okay, we got about 6 minutes to go before halftime is up. All right, show me Chris Berman. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. 73 subs to go to 23,300. And let's look at this fastest 3 minutes. I miss Berman and Tom Jackson when they used to, be together, for NFL programming. Mahomes and Josh Allen. You already knew this was going to be a tough game for the Chiefs. Josh Allen is very good at home. And again, they've been able to beat the Chiefs during the regular season, but the Chiefs have eliminated the Bills 4 times out of 5 in the postseason. And that win ends up being a little bit more bigger than wins in the regular season. But shout out to the Bills, 28-21, a winner over Kansas City. Good matchup between the Falcons and the Patriots. The Patriots are the real deal with Drake May. And again, adding Stephon Diggs definitely has improved the production, for Drake May. Good for him. Bo Nix started off slow, but got hot late. And a big win against the Texans, 18-15. That's 6 in a row. And again, 4 turnovers in the first 8 games for Daniel Jones. They had 6 against the Steelers, and they only lost by 7. So that's kind of impressive in itself. Not the 6 turnovers, but only losing by 7 with that many. Packers with Jordan Love getting upset by Rico Dowdle, the former Cowboy running back. The Carolina Panthers with a big victory at Lambeau. I love it. J.J. McCarthy is back for the Vikings, and that ended up being the deciding factor, beating the Lions 27-24 in Detroit. Crazy. No one would have expected that. And then the game of the weekend, the Bears and the Bengals, the battle of the Bads. You know, all offense, no defense whatsoever. And a big, big victory for the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams, 47-42. Matthew Stafford's been hot this year, 34-10. Glad to have Puka Nacua back on the roster. Big victory there against one of the worst teams in football, the New Orleans Saints. Niners, 34-24, but the Giants' uniforms look icy from back in the late 80s, early 90s. And then the Chargers beating the Titans 27-20, which they should. And then obviously we have the Jags and the Raiders. And the longest kick in NFL history, 68 yards by Little, is good. Jags beating the Raiders 30-29 in OT. Mike in the building, what's good? And again, if you don't, end up beating the Dodgers, in regulation, you're not going to win. And that's exactly what we said on the channel. And the Dodgers were able to get late inning heroics by Miguel Rojas in the ninth with the home run and Will Smith in extras. And the rest is history. Back-to-back champs, Los Angeles Dodgers. And the parade was today. And again, they're going for a three-peat. But hopefully the Seattle Mariners will be able to be in the position that the Blue Jays were in, except a different result at the end. All right, we're going to get back into the third quarter here with about 2 minutes. And that's the great thing about the NFL, based on this format, is that halftime isn't going to be 25, 30 minutes. It's nice when it's, very brief, 11, 12 minutes. It gives them time to go to the bathroom, change their cleats, swap a jersey if they need to, talk about a quick game plan for the second half, and then boom, you're right back out there on the action. So, whoop. (17-7) Cardinals. What's good, Mike? Oregon Ducks, obviously for college football and college basketball, but I don't watch, every single game. I used to, back in the Luke Ridenour days, back in the day with Luke Ridenour and Luke Jackson, but, I'll watch them, here and there for college hoops. And I think most people don't really focus on college hoops until right before March Madness and whatnot. So, and we'll do a little bit of March Madness coverage, on the channel, a little game here, a little game there, as we get, towards the end. But when I was a kid growing up, it was always fun to watch, Duke and, Coach K and North Carolina with Dean Smith and Kentucky with, Pitino and whatnot. So it's like, those teams, aren't really the same as they used to be. Obviously they still go on runs from time to time. Obviously Duke still has a good track record for NBA players, obviously with Cooper Flagg last year and whatnot. But, some of these, teams will, be very, very good. And, other times they'll be, kind of a down year here and there, and they got to recruit and get back up and whatnot. But, usually once it gets into March Madness, we'll go from there. I don't know about heating up quickly. I mean, the Cardinals have the ball first. The Cowboy defense is one of the worst in football. They give up the second most points in the NFL at over 30, even though they do score second most 30, but they're not going to get to 30 today. And the Cardinal defense is playing motivated. And I assume the Cowboys will go on a little bit of a run. Like Dak will, find CeeDee Lamb or Jordan or Javonte Williams in the end zone. And you would assume the Cowboys will score at least one touchdown. They left 3 on the board by going for it on 4th down, and could be 17-10 right now. And then you would assume the Cardinals at some point will hit a little bit of a wall, but again, the Cardinals should still be able to put up, some scores before it's over. And at this point, it might take a miracle for the Cowboys to come back and win this game. The only touchdown that the Cowboys have is a blocked punt with the special teams unit. So we will see. Yeah. So obviously, Kraken, I watch pretty much on a regular basis with the Blazers, and obviously those will be like, filler content things, as we wait for baseball to come back. And we'll continue to do NFL and college football and NBA. And then at some point, a little NHL. And again, if WWE would lower their price for PLEs, I wouldn't mind, doing WWE once a month like we used to. But I mean, I'm not going to pay $30 a month for just one PLE, once a month. That's not worth it to me. So. I don't think anyone's underestimating the Cowboys. I mean, they have, the second most points per game at 30, but based on how they played today, they don't look like a team that's going to score 30 today. And we know the defense is one of the worst. So we will see. We would assume that both teams will put up some points. But again, the Cowboys are definitely going to need, a little bit more from the offense, a little bit more from the defense, which is not very good. And obviously the special teams obviously gets an A+ with the blocked punt for the touchdown. And again, if you're Arizona, you're definitely going to want to run the football, and try to bleed the clock here and there, and limit the time that Dallas has the ball with Dak. And if you can do that like they did in the first half, they might end up winning this game by 3 to 10 points. Aubrey kicks it off, and Dortch with a good return, 20 yards, and now it's 1st down and 10 at the Arizona 26. And Jacoby Brissett, deep middle, Wilson, 50 yards. Wow. 33 yak yards from Wilson. 1st down and 10 at the Dallas 24. Maybe careful underestimating the Cardinals offense here. And again, if your defense is going to be that bad, this one might be over sooner than later. And a huge play by Jacoby Brissett, and terrible defense by Dallas, but what's new? Huge play. 50-yard gain from Brissett to Wilson right out of halftime. Knight, right end, 17 yards. 1st and goal at the Dallas 7. And even if the Cowboys score touchdown here, touchdown there, if you can't stop the other team, you're never catching up. It's just you're going to go score for score if it gets to that point. But, they definitely have looked a little rusty, and the Cardinal defense has looked a little bit better than normal today. 1st and goal at the Dallas 7, and it looks like they're about to strike, and it might be 24-7 here in a moment. Nothing is worse than having a shitty defense on your favorite football team. I mean, even if you're one of the top, scoring teams on offense, it's like everything that you do just gets taken away as soon as the other unit comes in. And that's exactly what the Cowboys season has been. Most of the time Dak is, doing amazing things on that side of the ball, but the Dallas Cowboy defense can't stop a nosebleed. They're fucking terrible. And we got illegal formation here by the Cardinals. So Dallas dodges a little bit of a bullet here. And that's going to be illegal formation. First and goal. Now it's going to bring them back 5. And going back from the 7-yard line to the 12-yard line. And if anything, that gives them a little bit more room to run, some kind of route for Trey McBride or Marvin Harrison Jr. to get in the end zone, or maybe even Wilson. That's why it's always, a good thing not to, overestimate, situations, and also to understand who you're playing. Anybody can beat anyone on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. Let's see what Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals here. Brissett, short right. There he is. Trey McBride, touchdown, Cardinals. Oh, my. And that was quick. But when you do have a shitty defense, that's what happens. And again, it only took them less than 3 minutes to be able to get into the end zone. And Trey McBride making the Cowboys secondary and defense look silly out there. Ryland, extra point is up and good. 24-7 Cardinals. Well, how you feeling now? And let's see if the Cowboys can match. Let's see if we can have Dak, go to CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens. But again, if you're not going to continue to run the football, the Cardinals are going to come up with turnovers. They're going to punch the football out. They're going to get interceptions, and this kind of plays into the Cardinals' hands, with Budda Baker in the secondary and whatnot. So again, if you still go to Javonte Williams, you'll be able to, hit him with some checkdowns and some screen passes, and you still want to be able to run the football. But if they abandon the run altogether, pretty much the rest of the way, between just a carry here, carry there, this one's going to get really out of hand really quick, because the Cardinals already know that Dak's, going to need to throw to be able to march down the field. And it's not like Javonte Williams is terrible. He's an okay running back, not great. Rico Dowdle, obviously, who left Dallas and went to Carolina, now is a top 5 back yards-wise in the league. Who would have thought that? So, but they're definitely missing a lot of key components to be able to make this a game, but you never know. Hopefully for Cowboy fans, Dak can heat up slightly. But again, it is going to be a big challenge now, down by 17. And it doesn't look like they have an answer for Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Jacoby Brissett. Zay might be on the sidelines, but we haven't seen anything from him. Only Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Elijah Higgins, Trey McBride, and Bam Knight. So Zay has been on the sideline, but we haven't seen anything from him yet. Yeah, Cowboys aren't coming back and winning this game. And Ryland kicks it off, 59 yards. 21-yard return there from Turpin. And again, if the Cowboys want to get back into this game, getting Turpin the football would make sense. using his speed, with jet sweeps, reverses, just getting the ball to the outside could definitely help, but I highly doubt we'll see it. First down and 10, 4-yard run there by Javonte Williams. So at least they're not abandoning the run altogether just yet. 4-yard gain. Davis Gaither with the coverage there for the Arizona Cardinals. Second down and 6 at the Dallas 31. Prescott, short left to Schoonmaker, 14 yards. First down, Cowboys. Move the chains. First down and 10. Prescott out of the no huddle. Pass incomplete. Short left to CeeDee Lamb. Second down and 10 at the Dallas 45. (24-7) Cardinals. 11:50 and counting. Will Johnson, the rookie, with the good coverage there on CeeDee Lamb on that previous play. Dak on first down, short middle. Ferg, 23 yards. Nice yak yards there, about 11 or 12 after that catch. First down, Cowboys. Move the chains. Thompson with the coverage. First down and 10 at the Arizona 32. Nice 23-yard pass there from Dak to Jake Ferguson. First down and 10. Williams going to that right side. And looks like about 14 or 15 yards there with that run. Burke and Buda Baker in coverage. Cowboys are definitely starting to put a little bit of a drive here together. First down and 10 at the Arizona 17. And they're going to get a minimum of 3 on this drive, but definitely they are looking for 6. Javonte Williams goes to that left side for a 2-yard gain. Buda Baker and Birch with coverage. Second down and 8 at the Arizona 15. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Gained another sub since the commercial break. Shout out to all the new subs on the channel. And after that Javonte Williams run, Dak Prescott incomplete on second down and 8. Short middle to Ferguson. Now it's third down and 8 at the Arizona 15. Drive is starting to stall here momentarily. And we will see where they decide to go here on third down and 8. If they end up going to Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, or Schoonmaker, or Jake Ferguson. Obviously, it could be Javonte Williams as well. And Prescott, short right to CeeDee Lamb. 10-yard gain. First down, Cowboys. Now they're down to the Arizona 5. And now it feels like they are going to get the touchdown here in a play or two. Javonte Williams up the middle on first and goal, and no gain, gets stuffed. Wilson with the coverage. Second and goal at the Arizona 5. I haven't seen him out there. It looks like the injury list has him playing, but he hasn't been out there to my knowledge. He hasn't made any catches or anything, so He's on the sideline, I believe, but I haven't seen him, hasn't made any plays if he is playing. And Prescott sacked. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Sweat with the big sack lunch. Loss of, 8 or 9. 3rd and goal now at the Arizona 14. And again, the Cowboys are great from the 20 to the 20, but once it gets into the red zone, that's where these drives are starting to stall. Just like in the first half when they ended up getting close to the goal and then going for it on 4th down instead of taking the points. Sweat is a menace out there. His 2nd sack lunch of the game. Dak Prescott on 3rd and goal, short pass to Turpin for 5 yards, and that is 4th and goal now on the Arizona 9. Now, do the Cowboys take the points and kick the field goal, or do they get greedy and go for the touchdown again since they're down by 17? Kind of feels like if they go for it, they're not going to get it. And they decide to kick the field goal. Kick is up and good. 24-10 Arizona. At least they finally learned that you have to take the points. Yeah, definitely a win for Arizona to, have them march down the field, and just for Aubrey to finally kick a 26-yarder. Definitely a win for Arizona and their defense. $50 more. We're still looking for our first dono on the dono train. All right, Lakers and Blazers are about to get going here, so I got to turn that on. All right, Marcus Smart, Dalton Connect, Uri Hachimura, Jake LaRavia, and DeAndre Ayton, the former Blazer, on the Lakers now. I mean, there's no excuse to, drop this game. Hopefully we can find a way to. I wish that LeBron and Luka were playing, honestly, and Reeves, but. And the Blazers starting lineup: Drew Holiday, Shaden Sharp, Denny Advia, Tumani Kamara, and Donovan Clingan. An amazing starting 5 where, Drew Holiday still has some game left. Shaden Sharp can give you the dunks. Denny is our best all-around player. Tumani Kamara is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And Donovan Clingan has made some strides with his defense, rebounding and scoring in his 2nd year. And definitely excited to see where this team is going to go, not only in 2025, but for every year after. Perfect. I've got the game all situated here. All right, baby. Let's go, Rip City. Let's get the job done. And Aubrey with a 61-yard kick there. Dortch, 35 yards. Childress with the coverage. And it's first down and 10 at the Arizona 39 after that 35-yard return by Dortch. Dortch has got some moves out there, just like Turpin. Yeah, Kraken as well. I'll have to kind of try to stop and check to see what's going on with that. So, yeah, definitely a winnable game against the Blackhawks at home, and I assume that they will win after wearing their black alternate glow-in-the-dark unis against the Rangers and losing that matchup. Hopefully, they'll be able to get the dub here today. And DiMaccardo runs right up the middle, and a nice juke there by DiMaccardo. 9-yard gain, Bell with the coverage. Second down and 1 at the Dallas 41. Yeah, second worst defense based off points per game allowed. They score about 30 a game on average on offense, which is number 2. And obviously their defense gives up 30, which is number 2. So for everything that they do on offense, they give it right back. So, and they said they didn't need Micah Parsons, huh? And nothing is more demoralizing than having a bad D. There's no doubt about that. And DiMaccardo runs to that left side, 4-yard gain. First down, Cardinals. And again, as long as Arizona just pounds the rock, bleeds the clock, throws, here and there to Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., even if the Cowboys, get a field goal here, field goal there, touchdown here, touchdown there, it doesn't really feel like the Cardinals are letting up. I mean, really what the Cowboys need to get back into this is like a pick six or like a fumble for a touchdown. They already got a blocked punt for a touchdown, but, does the defense even have that ability to make a play like that happen at this point? No, but, we didn't expect a blocked, punt for a touchdown either. So first down and 10, Brissett passing complete short right. Second down and 10 at the Dallas 37. And hopefully the Blazers and the Kraken both win here today. And good pressure by the Dallas defense that are on first down and 10 on that last play where Brissett just has to throw it away. And Brissett, short pass to Marvin Harrison Jr., 16-yard gain. Nice yak yards there, about 13, 14 yak yards for Marvin Harrison Jr. First down, Cardinals. First down and 10 at the Dallas 21. Keep feeding him the rock, baby. Let's go Blazers. Let's go Kraken. Blazers and Lakers, Kraken and Blackhawks. And great for the Kraken to be at home. And hopefully they'll be able to be victorious here today. Nice pass from Brissett to Marvin Harrison Jr. on that last play. They got no answer for Marvin. Megan in the building. How are you? There we go. Blazer game just starting off here against the Lakers. And DiMaccardo runs towards that right side. Gain of only 1. Thomas with the coverage there. Second down and 9 at the Dallas 20. Cardinals 24, Cowboys 10. All right, no worries. Good coverage by the Cowboy defense on that play on DiMaccardo. And DiMaccardo again here with a 4-yard run, trying to bleed the clock and, get this clock, obviously as down as much as possible while still moving the football. 4-yard gain by DiMaccardo after that 4-yard run. Third down and 5 at the Dallas 16. Lakers up early 4-0 against the Blazers. Come on, Rip City. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Blazers and the Spurs the day before Thanksgiving, and hopefully Wemby won't have an injury at that point. Would love to see him in person. Four-yard gain there by DeMarcardone. 3rd down and 5 at the Dallas 16. 3rd down and 5. Brissett pass incomplete on the shotgun set to Trey McBride. And now it's 4th down and 5 at the Dallas 16. Take the field goal. Should be 27-10 here momentarily. And field goal is up and good. There we go. 27-10 Arizona. Nice job by Chad Ryland. And now they're up by 17. Nice job by Jacoby Brissett and this Arizona Cardinal offense. Still 4-0 Lakers here early. There we go. Nice job by Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday definitely has been the biggest pickup, for us in 2025. Obviously after losing Anthony Simons to the Celtics, we didn't really know how, this would, fit in with the Blazers in 2025. But Drew has been playing like an all-star, so far to start the year. He's been amazing. And now Shaden Sharp. Now it's getting very fast-paced, back and forth scoring. 8-4 Lakers. Drew Holiday and Sharp with early buckets. Nice pass by Drew. And Denny Advia there with the layup. 8-6 Lakers over the Blazers. Come on, Rip City. Let's go, Denny. I need to flip on the Kraken here as well. All right, got the Kraken game on as well. We're doing a triple header here. Cardinals, Cowboys, Kraken, and the Blackhawks, and the Blazers and the Lakers. All right, let me see if this is going to slow my network down if I have too many games on. I mean, I do got a gig internet and whatnot, but we will see. I'm going to potentially try to put the Kraken game here on the HD TV here. Let's see if everything will be smooth enough for me to. So I'm attempting to see if this will work with, usually I can watch 3-4 games. All right. So I got the Kraken game, obviously through the Kraken Hockey Network through Prime. One benefit of having Prime, obviously for Thursday night football games and for the Kraken. It looks like everything is running steady. All right. So I got the Kraken game on the big HD TV here in the studio, looking amazing. And then we got the Blazer game here on the corner. And then we got the game on here as well. So I got hockey, basketball, and football. Life is good. 27-10 Cardinals. Let's go Kraken. Beat the Blackhawks here at home. And hopefully the Blazers can find a way to win on the road as well. Blown coverage there. 34-yard pass from Dak to CeeDee Lamb, finally getting something going there. And timeout is called by Arizona. Yeah, you would assume the Chiefs would win that on Thanksgiving, even though they haven't really been as strong as previous years and whatnot. All right, 14-13, Lakers up on the Blazers by 1, 0-0, Blackhawks and Kraken in the first period. And I got Cardinals 27, Cowboys 10 here. Dak pass incomplete to Pickens. Nolan in the coverage. Second down and 10 at the Arizona 27. What's better than watching one game? Watching three at the same damn time. Let's go. Nice dunk by Robert Williams there. Let's go Blazers. Let's go Kraken. Second down and 10, and they decide to hand the ball off, and that goes nowhere. Javonte Williams run for a yard. Third down and 9 at the Arizona 27. (14-14) tie here with the Lakers and the Blazers. 27-10. Cardinals and Cowboys, Kraken and Blackhawks knotted up at 0 in the first period on a commercial break. Third down and 10, 6-yard pass from Dak to CeeDee Lamb, pushed out there at the Arizona 21 by Burke, and now it's 4th down and 3 at the Arizona 21, and if they're smart, they would just take the 3 here. I mean, you're down by 17, so regardless, you're going to have to kick the field goal at some point or another. And that is the end of the third quarter, 27-10 Cardinals. Because again, even if you go for 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions, that's still 16, and you're still down by 1. So, I mean, again, if you're going to kick the field goal, you might as well just get it out of the way now and then just hope that you can end up, getting a stop and a quick score. And then, hopefully some kind of fumble or interception that leads to a touchdown or is a touchdown to kind of get back in it. But the Cardinals have been in firm control from the very start, and it feels like it will take a miracle on defense for the Cowboys. They either need to get a blocked punt for a touchdown again, an interception for a touchdown, a pick six, a fumble for a touchdown. But when you have one of the worst defenses in the league, I don't know if that would be possible, and then obviously they already had a blocked punt for a touchdown, which is kind of crazy to think that, their only touchdown so far for the Cowboys isn't from Dak and the offense. It's from special teams, but that's the NFL for you. Yeah, Pickens is in, CD is in. It's just, Cardinal defense has been a little bit better than expected here today. Cowboys kind of came out a little too cocky and overconfident. And, again, when you end up scoring 30 points a game, number 2 in the NFL, but then you give up 30 plus, which is number 2 in the NFL. But again, they haven't really been able to get into a rhythm. And once you get down in the second half by 14 or more, you typically abandon the run. And then defenses know that. And then you end up, falling into the trap, of what that defense wants. They know you're going to throw. And again, that will end up leading to, a fumble or a pick, by the Arizona defense, you would assume at some point. (19-16) Blazers. Let's go. Yeah, Pickens has got 2 receptions for 28 yards. Still 0-0 early here with the Blackhawks and the Kraken on the Kraken Hockey Network there on Prime. And then I got the Blazers and Lakers on here as well, commercial break. And then we have one more quarter to go here, 27-10, Cardinals up by 17. And we'll see if the Cowboys decide to leave points on the board again or not. I mean, if they would have kicked the field goal at the beginning of the game and now it would be 27-16 and you'd actually have a chance, but and Cowboys pass incomplete to CD Lamb, and that is a turnover. Terrible possession there for the Cowboys. What are they thinking? Great defense there by Arizona. And again, if you have bad coaching like Dallas, then there you go. That's exactly what you get. You take the field goal there, you take the field goal in the first possession, then it would have been 27-16. You probably would still lose, but it would still be close, where the fan base would think, okay, we might be able to make a big play late and maybe we can make it close. But if you're going to leave points on the board, what are you going to do? Terrible play calling there, by the Dallas Cowboys. What do you expect? I mean, you already knew it was a bad omen when you had Stephen A. Smith next to Jerry Jones in the booth, and that's the worst owner in sports. When you only care about money and profits, from beer and jersey sales and merch, rather than actually putting together a Super Bowl contending team, and it's just unfortunate, for Cowboy fans, until Jerry Jones ends up passing away or selling the team. Obviously he'll never sell, and then obviously when he passes away, his sons will take over, and they're still going to operate the team the same way, more than likely. So it's going to be a long time before you're seeing Dallas in an NFC championship game or a Super Bowl, let me tell you. 19-16 Blazers in the first quarter. And about 4 minutes to go. Come on, Rip City. I mean, especially the way the offense has been, it's not like the Cowboys are on pace to put up 30 like their normal points per game average. You got to take what the defense gives you. Not every game is just going to be easy for that offense. Even though you have Dak and Javonte Williams and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, I mean, those are some notable names, but again, the offensive line for Dallas hasn't been good. The defense has been absolutely terrible. And again, the offense hasn't been good either. You know, their only touchdown is a blocked punt. I mean, imagine if they didn't have that, it would literally be 27-3 right now, Arizona. So 22-18 Blazers. Keep it up, Rip City. And Brissett, short right pass there to Trey McBride for 7 yards. Bell with the coverage. 2nd down and 3 at the Arizona 29. And now with the Cowboys leaving 2 field goals, off the board, they can, run the football, pass occasionally, and then bleed this clock out. Zero Kraken and Blackhawks in the first period. 6:52 left. (24-20) Blazers. Let's go, baby. 2nd down and 3 at the Arizona 29. We'll see what Jacoby Brissett has in store here. And now Marquise Bell, 2022 undrafted free agent, hobbling on the sideline there. Oh, Trey McBride hit him with a big stiff arm with that forearm. And Brissett, hands off. And Knight with a short gain there. Gain of a yard. Murray with the coverage. 3rd down and 2 at the Arizona 30. Tick, 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 tick. First 3 quarters tied for 4th point margin, but the 4th quarter, they're dead last. But when you play the Dallas Cowboy defense, you're going to be able to move the football, regardless of what quarter it is. 3rd down and 3, and a big sack lunch there on Jacoby Brissett. The Dallas defense finally comes alive. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Big sack lunch there by Clark. And now it's 4th down and 11, and they will force Arizona to punt. Wishful thinking, Marine Beam. It's not like they're going to come back and win the game. 27-22 with about 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Come on, Denny. And Cardinals with the punt. And we got a flag on the play. I mean, the Cardinals might be 2-5, but they look like the better team today in almost every aspect. And again, Dak, normally scores 30 points a game. So, I mean, it's, you would assume that they would get at least a touchdown on offense before the game is up. But, will they get 2? I don't know about that. I mean, they might be able to get 2 if they end up scoring and getting a turnover quickly and then scoring again. But offensive holding there on the Cowboys on 1st down and 10. And the ball will be on the Dallas 22 after that penalty. Get him, Denny. 29-22 Blazers with a minute to go in the first quarter. I like seeing that. And we're still knotted up at 0 between the Blackhawks and the Kraken. with about 4 minutes left in the first period. Seattle at home, and I know they're glad to be there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. 71 subs to 23,300. Let's get it, baby. End of the first quarter, 33-24 Blazers. There we go, baby. Nice job by Rip City. Love that. First down and 10 here for Dak. Let's see what happens here. Pass incomplete towards CeeDee Lamb in the middle of the field, about 3 yards in front of him into that turf. Incomplete. Second down and 10 at the Dallas 22. One of the worst offensive performances by Dallas this season. And they're at home, which is kind of wild, but they still got a few minutes left here in the fourth to at least change that somewhat. Second down and 10. Prescott scrambles up the middle for 6 yards. Browning in coverage. And we got an injury on the Cardinals. Wilson is down. And now it's third down and 4 at the Dallas 28. Hopefully Mac Wilson will be okay. Blazers looking good in the first quarter. Obviously, no Luka, no LeBron, so you should be able to play well. And Kraken going toe-to-toe with the Blackhawks here. And that's still 0-0 in the first period. I do, but, I don't need to worry about you. We've already mentioned how many times the Dallas defense can't stop a nosebleed. Yeah, everyone's going to have their own, opinions on, overtime and, different rules and whatnot. So, So I have third down and 4 at the Dallas 28 once we come back from the commercial break. Kraken playing with a lot of energy here against the Blackhawks, but not enough really quality shots on goal for the Kraken just yet. I mean, the way that this game is playing out, I mean, you might be able to get one touchdown from the Cowboy offense before this one is over. And then, you would assume, it would go to Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, or, maybe Ferg. But Prescott, short middle. Flournoy, 7 yards. Budda Baker in coverage. First down and 10. At the Dallas 35. First down, Cowboys. And we haven't said that too often here today. Flournoy with the catch. And Prescott to Pickens. Fumble. And wow, rip that out. And Javonte Williams, right place, right time, with 3 Cardinals right there. And again, the Cardinals are definitely keying on certain players. And if you're not going to be able to hang on to that football, they're going to punch it out. And they did a very good job ripping that football out multiple times here today. Dallas catches a break. Shotgun set, Dak. And Pickens here again. And avoiding a couple tackles. First down, Cowboys. 19-yard pass there from Prescott to Pickens. Johnson with the coverage. And now it's first down and 10 at the Arizona 24. 0-0 Blackhawks and Kraken. First period winding down. 35-27 Blazers over the Lakers with about 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. And we got Jalen Thompson, an injured Cardinal, at the end of that play. (35-27) Blazers with about 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Cardinals close losses, 16-15 to the Niners, 23-20 to the Hawks, 22-21 to the Titans. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, one possession games. Can you have a good record, or are you going to end up failing in those big moments? It's like the Denver Broncos last year in one-score games compared to this year in one-score games. That's really the difference, between having a great record or, a record that's a little underwhelming. And Javonte Williams, 19-yard run right up the middle, and he's down to the Arizona 5. First and goal for the Cowboys. Move the chains. And we'll see if Fox can get a TD from either Fergie or Lamb. But a great run there by Javonte Williams. Will they give it back to him again? Shotgun set on first and goal. Dak back of the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys. Dak Prescott to Flournoy. And now we have a 27-16 game. Well, you're not going to get the touchdown with your guy there since it goes to Ryan Flournoy. Of course, it goes to someone else, right? But you still have 10 minutes and 51 seconds to go for possibly one more chance to be able to get one of those two guys to hit for you. Great throw by Dak. Great catch by Flournoy. And extra point is up by Aubrey and good. 27-17 Cardinals. And even though, the Cowboys are only down by 10, it still feels like they're down 20, even though they just scored right there. 39-29 Blazers up on the Lakers with about 8 minutes to go. Captain in the building, what's good? Mike in the building, Toby in the building, what's good? No, I mean, obviously it'll be a trap game, for you guys, and we'll see if Kyler Murray is back at that point. Anytime you play anybody in the division, it obviously can be a trap game scenario, but Seattle definitely the better team. So, yeah. But the only reason Ravens are 3-5 because Lamar was out for quite some time. So, and even if they come back and win the division over the Steelers, I don't know if anyone really believes in the Ravens this year. I mean, maybe the Raven offense, but not really the defense. So, first intermission, Blackhawks and Kraken still knotted up at 0. I got that here on the TV in the studio as they're interviewing Josh Mahura. We got Blazers and Lakers on in the studio here as well. Doing pretty good with a nice, decent lead against the Lakers here in the second quarter. No Luka, no LeBron, so it should be a win. And we'll see where it goes here with a 27-17 lead with the Cardinals up on the Cowboys. Yeah, I got something for you. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And Aubrey kicks it off 59 yards. And a decent 27-yard gain from Dortch. First down and 10 at the Arizona 33 here in the fourth. 10:45 left in the fourth quarter. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train for all the hard work that we put in here every day. And we're looking for 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Judah in the building, what's good? I got the Kraken game on in the studio. I got the Blazer game on in the studio. And I got the Cardinals and Cowboys on. It's the trifecta. Play action fake and getting crushed. And Dante Fowler with the big sack lunch, but it looks like he injured himself. And a 9-yard loss there. Cowboy defense actually starting to wake up slightly here in the fourth quarter. Paisley was in here momentarily, but she noticed Dad isn't done just yet. And Brissett deep middle to Trey McBride. 19-yard gain. Bell and Bland in coverage. First down, Cardinals. And just the Cowboy luck. Once they get a big sack lunch of a loss of almost 10, what happens? Right away, they go to Trey McBride and they get all those yards back. And some. I'm The Thunder, end up playing tomorrow night late against the Clippers at 8 p.m. So if I'm going to stream the NBA tomorrow, that would be the one that I would do, but I might just spend time with Paisley and then, subscribe to Blazer Vision through NBA.com and the NBA app. So I will be able to have access to the Blazers here in the studio, even though we have Xfinity in another room here in the house as well. So, and they end up playing the Thunder on Wednesday night at 7. So little NFL, little college football, little NBA, and then a little bit of NHL as we wait for baseball to get back in March. And Knight runs to that right side for no gain. James with the coverage. 2nd down and 10 at the Arizona 43. (42-31) Blazers. Let's go Rip City. I honestly think even if Luka and LeBron were playing, I think the Blazers would actually have a chance. They're a much different team than last year and years past, especially with Drew Holiday leading the helm. And another sack lunch. Stewart with the big sack lunch there. Loss of 8. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for another sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. 3rd down and 18. And let's see if Jacoby Brissett will get a 19-yard gain and move the chains, just like they did in the previous sack on this drive. Yeah, no Reeves, no Luka, no LeBron. Should be a win. But again, nothing is guaranteed. In any sport, you have to, go out there and get it. They're just not going to roll over and give it to you. And it is still a good rivalry between the Blazers and Lakers. That's why we got to bring the Sonics back for that I-5 rivalry with the Blazers as well and the Lakers. False start and some self-inflicting wounds here by the Cardinals and their offensive line. And the Cowboys getting a little motivation here in the 4th quarter. About 3 quarters too late, but at least they're making it interesting. (42-36) Blazers now 44-36. All right, 3rd down and 23 after that bad false start on that offensive line by Hernandez. And let's see if they can end up getting half the yardage here or if they just go deep and try to get this 1st down. 7:49 left in the 4th quarter. Cardinals up by 10. They have dominated this whole game. Shotgun set. Pressure up the middle. And good coverage there by the Cowboys. And Kenny Clark there in coverage. And that is going to force a punt by the Cardinals. Fourth down and 23 at the Arizona 30. And it kind of makes you wonder if the Cowboys were to take those field goals that they decided to pass on, right? The score would be 27-23, and then they would only need a touchdown to win. So you don't really think about those things, when you do them. But again, if they would have played the game the right way and made those field goals, chip shots by Aubrey, instead of going for it on 4th down 2 times in this game, they more than likely would probably come back and win. If they were only down, by 4 points at this point, they would have a real serious chance of actually winning this game. But being down by 10, there's still a chance that a miracle could happen, but they're going to have a lot of things go their way here. All right, 7:45 on the play clock. Blackhawks and Kraken at first intermission, still knotted up at 0. Kraken finally back at home, playing some pretty good hockey in 2025. Blazers on the road against the Lakers with no Reeves, Luka or LeBron. So, it should be a win. But again, nothing is guaranteed in the NBA either. And hopefully they'll be able to get the dub because it's not going to get any easier when they end up playing the Thunder on Wednesday. And they've already blocked one punt for a touchdown early this game. What are the chances it happens again? And a high-hanging punt there. And not a lot of room for Turpin to maneuver. Only a 6-yard return, and he steps out of bounds. First down and 10 at the Dallas 37. But Thunder and Clippers are on tomorrow at 8. If I do a stream, that would be the stream that I would be doing. And then if not, then we'll be doing Blazers and Thunder on Wednesday. Broncos and Raiders for Thursday night football. USC and Northwestern on Friday for college football. Oregon and Iowa on Saturday for college football. And then Steelers, Chargers on Sunday night football. And then Monday night will be Eagles and Packers. So we'll be definitely busy this week. Shotgun set on that low snap. Dak trying to run away and running for about a 5-yard gain up the middle. Simon with the coverage. Second down and 5 at the Dallas 42. And the worst enemy for Dallas at this point is the clock. They're running out of time. Shotgun set on second down and 5. Dak towards the sideline. And Pickens is there. First down, Cowboys. Move the chains. And we got a flag on the play. Is that taunting on Pickens? It shows you the immaturity of guys, like DK Metcalf and George Pickens and a few others. Again, a lot of these guys are hotheads and divas at the wide receiver position. And when they don't get the ball enough, or even when they do, you got to be able to know when to shut up and just keep going. And, you end up hurting your team by talking too much shit. You got to be able to know when to talk and when to shut up. And, there's quite a few receivers that are that type of way, not just Pickens and DK. Those are just two examples, of guys, that typically do this type of behavior, almost game in and game out. First down and 10. And Dak scrambles to the right side, 14 yards. Williams in coverage. First down, Cowboys. Take it easy, Mike. (46-41) Blazers. Let's go, baby. About 4 minutes left before halftime. 0-0. Intermission for the Kraken and the Blackhawks. And then we have a 27-17 game here with the Cowboys and the Cardinals. And a short pass there towards the sideline. CD Lamb. And looks like maybe about 6-7 yards there. Second down and 3 at the Arizona 46. Shotgun set. Flag on the play. Dak. And that's complete. George Pickens is there. And I think that might be, is that offsides? Pretty sure that's offsides, and if it is, they'll decline it. Yep. Passes penalty is declined for defensive offsides. First down, Cowboys. Move the chains. First down and 10 at the Arizona 35. And if they keep marching down the field, it'll turn into a touchdown. And no huddle. Shotgun set, Dak. And it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. The Dallas defense isn't the only defensive group that can get a sack late. And Nolan with a big sack lunch for the Cardinals. Loss of 6. Second down and 16 at the Arizona 41. First sack in his first NFL game. That's perfect timing. Second down and 16, 4-yard pass to Turpin. And again, I think the Cowboys underutilized Turpin. When you know you got a guy that's got speed, when he does kick returns and punt returns, why not, use that piece on your offense from time to time? Jet sweeps, reverses, something where you can use his speed, or run like trips left, trips right with 2 blockers in front of him. And, so that way he can have a couple splash plays with his speed. Why don't they use Turpin as a weapon? Makes you kind of wonder. Dak, pressure off the edge, little check down, and a fumble. And this game is over. Wow. Big turnover there by the Dallas Cowboys, doing Dallas Cowboy things. Arizona. Wow. I mean, they definitely have taken the textbook from Charles Peanut Tillman, on how to punch a football out and how to strip a football out. One of the best, defensive performances I've seen from a unit, being able to rip the football out multiple times in a game. And look at the luck of that football, spinning, but 2 yards still in bounds. No chance for that one to go out of bounds. Bad luck for the Cowboys there after that rip and strip. Wow. Cowboy fans now in disbelief, thinking that might have been their last chance. If they would have scored a touchdown there, making it 27-24, maybe a miracle could have happened. But now after that big turnover there, and that's the story really of the game, is the turnovers. You have too many, it's going to end up, biting you in the end. Two turnovers for the Cowboys, and the Cardinals with a backup quarterback with 0. Second period has started for the Blackhawks and the Kraken here in the studio. First down and 10 by Brissett. Hands off up the middle. DiMaccardo. And rumbling and a bumbling, getting some help from his offensive line. Second down. And timeout call by the Cowboys. (27-17) Cardinals, and this ended up being more of an entertaining game, I think, than any of us thought. And I had a feeling the Cardinals were going to play great today, and thankfully they did. You never can overlook an opponent, even if they have a bad record. And again, the Cowboys are 3-4-1. And DiMaccardo with a big run there. I mean, the Cardinals are 2-5. It's not like the Cowboys right now are like 5-2, but even if they were, I imagine the same type of mindset they would have had coming into the game, kind of overlooking an opponent that's got a backup quarterback. But again, Jacoby Brissett is one of the top 5 backups in the league. So, and a good stiff arm there by DiMaccardo going down inbounds. That's a smart play, forcing the Cowboys to use another timeout. That's just good football IQ right there. And we got Joey Decord in net doing Joey Decord things. Keep it going, Joey. Oh, DiMaccardo, you can't let go of that football, pulling a Deshaun Jackson. There's nothing worse than that. When you have an easy touchdown and you let the ball go before you actually cross the plane. First down and 10. Handoff. DeMarcado bouncing it to the right side. And a gain of maybe 1 or 2 there. And then another timeout by Dallas. 4:10 to go. Second down and 8 at the Dallas 36. Toby in the building. What's good? Great job by Cody Simon coming in, making some big plays. And you're getting some good production by some rookie and second-year players from Arizona. Good for them. All right, we got 4:10 left here in the fourth quarter. And DeMarcado up the middle and a loss of about 3-4 yards. Davion Clowney there in coverage. Third down and 12 at the Dallas 40. And the Kraken finally get a goal. There we go, baby. Hell yeah. 1-0 Seattle. Wow, what a deep goal. Holy cow, that was almost from mid-ice at the wow, that was crazy. Nice job, Kraken. Play action from Brissett. And decides to go down. Run for about 4 yards there, Bland with the coverage. 4th and 8 at the Dallas 36. And Brissett pass incomplete, short right to Marvin Harrison Jr. And now the Cowboys will get the football. First down and 10 at the Dallas 36, down by 10 with 2:31 left. Blazers 53, Lakers 52. Still playing the Blazers tight. And Alexiak with that goal by the Seattle Kraken, 1-0 over the Blackhawks. And Prescott sacked, loss of 9. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Second down and 19 at the Dallas 28. And you're definitely getting a lot of great defensive plays here late by the Cowboys and the Cardinals, especially sack lunches for both teams. Calais Campbell, the OG vet. Second down and 19. Dak pass incomplete deep right to CeeDee Lamb. Third down and 19 on the Dallas 28. I have no idea. I mean, obviously we know, Scooball is from there, but I don't know anything about their basketball sports programs. Two-minute warning, 27-17 Cardinals. Alexiak got the goal. Jamie. And then hopefully, we'll be able to get some Shane Wright and some Matty Beniers. And, I mean, it's a game that they definitely should be able to win, especially at home and against a team like the Blackhawks. 2-minute warning, 27-17 Cardinals. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Gained a couple more subs. $70 subs to go to 23,300. All right, Cardinals up by 10 with 2 minutes to go. Blazers 53, Lakers 52 at halftime. I'll take that. Even with no Reeves, Luka, or LeBron, I don't care. I'll take a 1-point lead at half any day. 3rd down and 19, and it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for another sack lunch. Calais Campbell again. Yum, 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 yum. And now it's 4th down and 28 at the Dallas 19. I don't think the Cowboys offensive line had that on their bingo card. And Campbell looking like a young Calais Campbell from the Jacksonville Jags right there, manhandling the Cowboy offensive line. And Dak passing deep, intercepted by Burke. And now it is officially over. Nice job by the Cardinals. What a great victory for them with their backup quarterback. And nice to be able to see the defenses step up, you know, in the 3rd and 4th quarter for both teams to make it at least, you know, kind of interesting, you know, where a lot of people had the Cowboys winning this game, maybe 27-10 or something of that nature. And, you know, that just wasn't the case here today. You know, the Cardinal defense played well, you know, and again, Dallas ended up getting that blocked punt for a touchdown. And a lot of times when you get a special teams touchdown, you typically win. When you get a pick six on defense, a fumble for a touchdown, or, you know, a blocked punt, you know, for a touchdown, or a blocked field goal for a touchdown. But that just wasn't the case here today. You know, obviously the Cardinals played a very well-balanced game, and it definitely showed. Appreciate you, Fox. Sorry you didn't end up getting your hit there, but maybe the next time around. And now in victory formation with the kneel down. And then tomorrow will either be the Thunder and the Clippers, but that's kind of late. I might just take the day off tomorrow, and then we'll be doing Blazers and Thunder at 7 o'clock Pacific on Wednesday, and then we'll be doing football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Broncos and Raiders on Thursday night. USC versus Northwestern for college football Friday. Oregon at Iowa Saturday. Chargers and Steelers for Sunday night football. And then Eagles and Packers on Monday night. So we'll have one NBA stream on Wednesday, and then the rest will be football for 4 or 5 days in a row after that. Final score, Cardinals 27, Cowboys 17. And hopefully in the future, you know, for my hard work, we'll get some appreciation. You know, this is my full-time job. So, you know, hopefully we'll get some more people to show some love. A little disappointed about that, if I'm being real. But again, we'll see what happens, you know, when we continue to do the next stream. Final score, Cardinals 27, Cowboys 17. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Okay.